Yes, we're focusing on the new national carrier. So much going on about that. But this morning, we've got Comrade Olayinka Abioye, who is the General Secretary, National Union of Air Transport Employees. Thank you for coming on this morning, Comrade. Yes, well, lots of people thought, well, okay, this should be a good thing, launching this new national carrier. But the unions kind of see things differently. In fact, you have been quoted severally saying, look, this cannot properly take off until some conditions are met.
That's correct, sir.
Tell us about this.
First and foremost, the aviation trade unions were the first to moot the idea of refloating a new national carrier several years ago. And we drew attention of government to it. We pressured government into accepting the fact that we could get back a national carrier. Some people were suggesting flag carrier. At the end of the day...
so two different things.
Yes.
National carrier, flag carrier.
Yes.
For what we have now is what?
It's a national carrier. A fully Nigerian airline belonging to the Nigerian people. Unfortunately, we started this race very well, and somewhere along the line, it's been hijacked by politicians.
Because this current one?
So? Yes. The concept of a national carrier, sir, as agreed collectively by stakeholders, was that we will have a national carrier driven by the private sector. Okay? Unfortunately, the way my honorable minister is going, we must commend him for his foresight and his doggedness in getting things done. But the way and manner this government, in particular, is going about it has defeated the purpose for which we wanted to have a national carrier.
Even though the government only has 5% stake in it, and then 95%
of the private. How did they come about this 5% to start with? Who have they sat down with, sir? We were in Abuja some months back at the fourth interactive session called by the Honorable Minister of State Aviation, where transaction advisors to midwife these processes were unveiled. We had a transaction advisor for establishment of a national carrier. We had one for maintenance, repair, and overhaul, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, we agreed, at least the transaction advisors told us, they have already started their work, and at the end of the day, they will unveil to us the outcome of what they have done. But as we speak, sir, nobody, in fact, we don't even know where they are, these transaction advisors. So it becomes worrisome when the Honorable Minister becomes the spokesperson for the transaction advisors and the implementer of what the transaction advisors ought to be doing.
Is that what it looks like?
Of course, that's what we're saying. Did you hear of any transaction advisor being with him in UK where he went to unveil the logo?
Did the union ask him who were the advisors and he didn't give answer?
We were not even told. A lot of people in Nigeria, stakeholders in the country, did not even know that they were going to UK to go and unveil. We read in the papers where they were asking for entries into design of the logo and so on and so forth.
Yeah, they said they engaged about 400,000 Nigerians on social media,
yes,
young
sir.
people.
Yes, sir.
So how come the union didn't hear
How
this?
did they, so who was the fellow who designed this thing?
But did you hear that part? Did the union hear that part?
No, what we were told, sir, was that this thing was thrown open to a lot of people to design. We have no problems with all these petty things. Our concern borders on how people should be left in the cold. As I speak to
when you say people, who?
Yes,
the unions?
Not the unions.
Who?
We are just. Are
you speaking for the Nigerian people?
Yes, sir. Because we are concerned.
Have you had an interaction with Nigerians, for instance? Have you had a forum where you met with the Nigerian stakeholders to discuss how this should work?
Let me put it this way, sir. We have had several meetings. Stakeholders have been talking, okay? And the idea was that national carrier, which is humongous benefit to the Nigerian economy and the Nigerian people.
Sorry, please, could you be a little more specific? Who are these stakeholders?
Stakeholders, businessmen, prospective investors in the aviation sector, current airline operators, because all of these people are part of the community that are interested in ensuring and seeing to the refloating of a national carrier. More importantly, the interest of those currently operating domestic airlines who have been given routes that used to be patronized by Nigerian Airways, by former Nigerian Airways, have to be put into consideration. You can imagine, because Nigeria has BASA agreement with so many countries, Nigerian flies into so many countries, and Nigerian Airways flew to so many countries in the past. Those routes are still there, being now given to some domestic operators to operate from. For instance, Airpeace, Medview, to mention just these two.
Did they say, with the advent of this carrier, are those routes going to be taken away from those people?
Now, if nobody has been able to say that specifically, but the fear, sir, is that if, for instance, you give Airpeace Lagos-London route to start with, when your new national carrier starts, will it not also go to London?
Is this supposed to be an exclusive preserve of a particular
Not
airline?
particularly. There is going to be a very unhealthy competition. All these things has to be set out. All these things has to be discussed. And nobody is talking to anybody.
So you want the privileges of Nigeria Air also given to you. Does that in any way negate the operations that you currently run?
How do these people work together? It is supposed to, you know, it is supposed to be a healthy competition. We've not even gotten to that point yet,
and you're raising all these concerns.
Yes.
But one is tempted to ask that if we have 95% stake as privately run for Nigeria Air and just 5% for the government, that means you're still in the same ballgame. You're fighting yourself.
Correct, sir. But the question you should ask is that, where is this 95% people?
Oh, are you saying that is this shrouded in secrecy?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
Yeah, but how can you say that? We heard the minister say that they're shopping for investors, and there isn't any particular cap on the investors that will come in. So how is it shrouded in secrecy?
My dear brother, how do you shop for investors? You throw your cards on the table. Investors will be interested in the product you are selling.
Isn't that what he did at this
unveiling? Sir. No, sir. You can't go overseas to go and look for investors. We have them here. There are reputable Nigerian businessmen who also understands the way aviation works.
This has been in the process. This is not just out of the blues. It has been in the works for a long time. Why did they not show? Why did they not show their own interests?
Of course, people have shown interest. The airlines are ready to work with this government. The airlines are ready to work for the realization that we have a national carrier.
Did the government refuse them participation as investors?
Nobody is talking to anybody. You should understand what we're saying. Nobody is talking to anybody. For crying out loud, how would you go to UK, Farnborough Air Show, to go and unveil the entrance of a national carrier for Nigeria when you have not even spoken to the Nigerian people at home?
But it's not too late, is it?
They say begins at home.
It's not too late to begin to talk to the Nigerian people.
But you see, it's like we are putting the horse before the cart. Okay?
Come here, let me understand something. Is the union saying it is wrong to go to Farnborough, or you should have spoken to the people before going to Farnborough?
Our position is very clear. We welcome the establishment of a national carrier, but everything connected with the national carrier should be put on the table for the Nigerian people to see, because this is supposed to be a Nigerian thing, sir.
Okay, well, you always say Nigerian people.
Yes.
You're talking about the unions yourselves.
No, not necessarily. For me, as a union person, what we are interested in is the establishment of this enterprise that will bring job opportunities to Nigerians, okay? Perhaps some of them who are interested in joining the union will come and join the union. That's how close it is.
Okay. Not that they're going to be compelled to
No,
join the
you
union.
don't compel anybody. In fact, the law frowns against even the employer forcing or coercing anybody to join the union, not to talk of even the union.
But we see unions picket companies saying, no, you don't want your members to
when
unionize.
we picket any of these organizations for violation of the rights of the worker, it is because we have already had members within such communities signing up our forms, expressing their interest to join the unions. So when you now communicate same to the management say, no, you cannot, it becomes a problem.